All right, let's talk about the future. We usually think about new tech like 5G or 6G in terms of speed, faster downloads, smoother streaming. But what if the next giant leap isn't about speed at all? What if it's about changing what communication even is, and maybe even what it means to exist? Okay, let's dive into the pretty wild speculative vision for 8G. So, this is the core idea, right here. Existence integration. It's the concept that 8G won't just be connecting our devices or our data, but our actual, literal existence. It's a pretty heavy starting point for sure, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore.
And that really brings us to the central question of this whole thing. We're talking about moving way beyond sending texts or watching videos. The idea here is a future where the network doesn't just describe reality, it becomes reality. A world where consciousness, matter, even time are all just data you can send.
To really get our heads around this, you have to see 8G not as some sudden, crazy jump, but more like the final rung on a very tall ladder. Each G has been a step up, and if we follow that progression, the wild vision for 8G starts to make a little more sense. You can really see the theme building here, right? 5G, which we have now, that's about connecting things. Your phone, your car, your smart fridge. 6G, which is on the horizon, is all about communicating reality. Think advanced virtual reality and perfect digital copies of the real world. 7G? Well, that takes it even further to communicating intelligence and maybe even energy itself. And that finally brings us to 8G, the communication of existence and consciousness. With every single step, a fundamental boundary just dissolves.
And I love these metaphors because they really nail the philosophical leap we're talking about. 6G is everything connects. Makes sense. 7G is the Earth thinks. Whoa, okay, now we're imagining our whole planet as one giant thinking organism. But 8G? The universe recognizes itself? I mean, come on. That's the idea that the network itself becomes the way the entire universe gains self-awareness. It's an absolutely breathtaking concept.
So you're probably asking, how could any of this even be possible? Let's get into the tech. The whole vision for 8G is built on one massive assumption, that reality, matter, and even our own consciousness are, at their very core, just information. And if they're information, well then they can be coded, networked, and transmitted. This table really puts things into perspective, and it is just staggering. Take a look at latency, or delay. In 6G, it's a tiny fraction of a millisecond. In 7G, it's theoretically zero using quantum physics. But 8G? It's described as time-independent. It's not even on the same scale. The network scope goes from our planet to interplanetary to the entire galaxy. And the power source? It moves from what we use now to something called zero-point energy, literally pulling energy from the vacuum of space. The scale here is just hard to even comprehend. So here's the first huge piece of the puzzle, the consciousness link. Now, this is way beyond a simple brain-computer interface. We're talking about a network that can transmit the raw data of what makes you you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations, all creating a shared mental and emotional space, a collective mind. And remember that time-independent thing we just saw? This is it, time-free communication. This concept is so much bigger than just being instant. It's not about speed anymore. It suggests a network that operates completely outside the normal flow of time as we know it. A truly mind-bending idea.
And this third pillar is where it sounds like it's pulled straight from science fiction. If you can informationalize matter, basically break it down into pure data, and you can send that data over the network, then theoretically, you could rebuild it anywhere else. Yep, we're talking about teleportation.
So you can imagine a technology this powerful wouldn't just change how we talk to each other, it would change, well, everything. It would change us. The vision for 8G is basically a new operating system for all of human civilization, rewriting society from the ground up. This transformation is seen as happening in three big steps. First, our economy shifts from being about what one person can do to being based on the value of our collective brain power. Then, the entire planet starts to act like a single self-regulating system. And the final step? That's post-human integration, where the lines between you, me, the collective, and technology just completely blur into one. Putting it side by side like this really makes the implications hit home. Our economy changes completely. National borders? They can become pretty irrelevant compared to a global consciousness network. And this one's huge. Instead of just our private individual memories, imagine a shared consciousness cloud. That opens the door to ideas like digital rebirth, where your consciousness could be preserved long after your physical body is gone.
Okay, but of course, any power that can literally rewrite reality comes with some absolutely terrifying risks. We have to look at the flip side here. The very real dangers that pop up when the boundaries of yourself and reality start to completely dissolve. This is the most obvious one, right? If your thoughts and emotions are just data packets on a network, they can be hacked. Your consciousness could be manipulated, your memories could be altered. Someone could hijack your very sense of self.
And beyond hacking, there's a deep psychological danger. If the line between the real world, the digital world, and someone else's thoughts is totally gone, could we lose our grip on what's real? They call this reality collapse, a permanent state of not knowing what's what.
And finally, maybe the biggest risk of them all, control. In a collective mind, would you, as an individual, still have free will? Or would we all just become cells in a much larger organism, governed by a super-intelligent AI or a collective will that just overrides our own?
So, from connecting devices to connecting consciousness itself, the path from 5G to this 8G vision is, well, it's a journey to the final frontier of what communication can even be. It's a vision that forces us to ask some really big questions about information, reality, and what it even means to be human.
And we're going to end on this quote, because it just perfectly captures the whole grand idea. It suggests that maybe this technology isn't something separate from nature, but maybe it's the universe's own way of becoming self-aware. It's a provocative thought to leave you with. Question of where communication ends and existence itself begins.